What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. I'm once again joined by Tyler. We are back for another video on our Star Wars community series, a community series that airs every single Thursday on our channel, leading into Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, releasing in theaters on December 20th. Now, we wanted to do a little bit of a different video where we're big into controversy. We love talking about controversial things, and that's one of the biggest things we talked about after The Last Jedi came out, and the videos that did, brought in so many different kinds of people. Where Tyler and I are really talking about our, displeasure of The Last Jedi. And for this video, we want to talk a little bit about Rose. Now, we have a lot of examples that Tyler's going to run through for you guys, talking about basically how she's being kicked out of the movie. Now, we already kind of knew that, okay? We know that Disney has kind of forced her, in a way, forced her out. She will not really be in this movie all that much. She's getting a promotion, which basically means less screen time. But we want to talk a little bit about the merchandise and kind of some hidden things that especially Tyler has found online to kind of suggest like they don't want her being part of this, what episode 9 is. And obviously, she has then been put back into it. Tyler will go over that. But we do want to have a general discussion about maybe Rose as a character, about her role in episode 9, and about how not just are they forcing her out, but all this kind of controversy that's going on with the merchandise. So Tyler, go ahead.
So there's a lot of merchandise out there that does not have Rose or didn't have Rose for Star Wars Episode 9, and people, probably 10 or 15 of them, are throwing a fit because she's obviously the best character to ever exist in Star Wars because of all the amazing things she did. I mean, why wouldn't you think that she's awesome? I don't know. So obviously these merchandise companies are getting in trouble. They're rioting in the streets, these people. And they're forcing them to change their designs, and they are, and they're ruining them. Not because Rose is a terrible character. Well, actually it is. But some of the designs actually looked way better without Rose. And we're going to show you pictures. We're going to show you all these tweets because these people, these pro-Rose people, did all the work for us. So we just get to look at this, laugh, and talk about actually what it means, because it does actually mean something. And what I will say right before I even, we really show you the pictures or talk about it, is that Disney, and I can't even prove this because the tweet was now removed, but Disney actually hates Rose too. And the reason I'm saying that is because Disney's the one that provides these designs to these merchandise companies. So that means that all of these designs that did not have Rose on them, that came from Disney. So what does that tell you? Disney does not want Rose associated with Star Wars because it didn't sell in The Last Jedi. And everybody knows that. It's Disney that doesn't like Rose. And that's actually something that I can agree on with Disney regarding Star Wars. That might be the first time ever. But that's very important to say because it also, even if they don't hate Rose, right? Let's say they watch this video and they comment. That would be amazing. Please do. But they'd say, well, that's not true. Well, actually it is, because even if you don't, you still devalued Rose by doing this. Because there's merchandise items that are already out that people already own that don't have Rose on them. And obviously, now that you've updated the designs with all these different merchandise companies with Rose on it, and that's the new, here's like the updated version. Here's 2.0 for these designs. That means that all of the previous merchandise that you sold that didn't have Rose on it, those were all limited run items. You might have sold a couple hundred, couple thousand, I don't know. But that's all that will ever exist of that because those designs no longer exist. Therefore, those are now collector's items. Therefore, now they are more valuable than any design that has Rose on them. So, therefore, Rose devalues any type of Star Wars merchandise or anything else. So, you just created, really, that Rose has no value. Because you just made it where anything Star Wars 9 related merchandise that does not have Rose in it has more value than something that has Rose on it. So I wanted to get that out of the way because that's 100% accurate. But so we look at these posters, awesome posters. I sent it to Alex, and he really liked it. The colors, the blue and the orange. They did a great job. These look way better than they did for episode 8. And what's funny is the person who made that poster didn't have Rose on it, so people asked, why? Where is she? She's the best. How can you forget about her? Oh, whoopsie. And so he's like, oh, well, it's not the finished design. There's still other characters that I need to add. No, it was just her that you forgot. Because, again, it's under the direction. As if an artist isn't hired by Disney to make an official poster and doesn't go through revisions, doesn't have to send things into Disney for them to approve different things. Then when you put the actual poster out, it's as if Disney didn't approve of it as the finished product. Of course they did. They own Star Wars. It's licensing. Everything has to go through those provisions. So, again, Disney was okay with the poster not having Rose on it. It's that simple. Rose being there all they did is move one character up. Big deal. That's all that happened. One character was moved to fit Rose there. And it's like, who cares? It's stupid. So there's that. Tons of posters. Almost every poster. In fact, here's another thing. Do you remember that odd orange blob alien next to Finn on one of those posters? So that was the original poster. Or one of the original posters, right? There's that orange blob alien. Who knows what his part is, but I can guarantee you he has a larger larger role in episode 9 than Rose does, who went from janitor to like general or commander or whatever she is. In other words, this is a reason for you to not be on the screen because you're going to be at a base and we're going to hear your voice sometimes. So that promotion was actually a way to essentially write her off, so that they could limit her. That's what's funny. I hope the actress understands that. And I'm not being a bully. It's just facts. But anyway, so the orange alien there that they had in a bunch of different promotional, the posters and the merchandise, whatever, that's what they ended up replacing to add Rose into it after the Where's Rose. So Lucasfilm, Disney, etc., they see Rose equal to, apparently, this orange blob alien. Because they left everybody else. So, again, she's literally meaningless. They're like, well, what can we take away here? Well, we can't take away the ships. We can't take away any of these other characters because they actually do something and people actually like them. Well, what can we get rid of? We can't get rid of the droids because, hey, we got to sell some $100 items. Well, there's that orange blob alien. I guess we could take him out, but he kind of is important. Well, let's just get rid of the orange blob and throw in Rose because she's amazing. So it's unbelievable how many designs, and you're looking at them, did not have Rose, and they just pop around like, oh, well, there she is. And Disney wants us to think that, oh, well, these designs, they weren't, I don't know why I'm doing a Trump voice. They weren't complete yet. But we printed them. We printed all the posters. We printed on the merchandise with all the different people that we have licensed to make our designs or our merchandise, shirts and stuff. So that's already out, right? We already did all that. We already approved everything, but they weren't the finished design. I mean, do they think that you and me are we stupid? They don't like Rose. They didn't want Rose on the merchandise because she doesn't sell. She's a waste. She's literally a horrible character. And honestly, prove me wrong on that. Prove me wrong that Disney does not like Rose, that Disney didn't have to literally go and revise designs that they already approved. Again, and we know they were approved because they were already sold. They were already on products for the Rise of Skywalker. So prove it that Disney doesn't like Rose, that they didn't have to go and revise an already approved design, and that she's not a horrible character, and that, I mean, good luck, because if they thought of her as a good character, as an important character, I guarantee you they would have already had her on the designs and on the posters. I can guarantee that because that's how they do this stuff. If the item sells, then it's on the merchandise. If it doesn't, then it isn't. Therefore, if Rose isn't there and Disney approved of it, Rose doesn't sell because she sucks. She's a nothing character that'll probably be in the film a total of 2 minutes. I hope that orange blob alien is in it for 3 minutes. I really do. And I bet you he is. But let me know what you guys think. I want to hear what Alex thinks about all this. But to me, this is hysterical because you have literally probably 10 to 12 people in the entire world that like Rose, that are throwing a fit. I want my Rose on my shirt. Because she did what? What did she do for you that makes you feel so special? She's one of the worst characters I've ever seen on film. Literally. Because she's nothing. She's forgettable. Nobody, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Nobody, and mark my words on this one, after Star Wars Episode 9, you will not hear about Rose. You're not going to hear about Rose in reviews. If you do, it's going to be about how she had a limited role. And if you have either SJWs or pandering people, they're going to talk about, even though Rose was in it for very little, man, what an amazing part she had. She was so beautiful and da-da-da, and oh, her part. That's what they're going to do. And that's how you know garbage, trash character. So, again, she will not be talked about. She will not be remembered. And that's just the way it should be. And that's what Disney wanted for Episode 9. But the 12 people in the world, they couldn't let Disney do it.
I agree. I mean, I think the writing is honestly on the walls for what they were, like Tyler said, what they were trying to do. I mean, JJ never created the character of Rose, right? And he obviously, from what we know of they're just leaks. We don't necessarily know for sure, but what we can kind of, if you even look at the trailers, where's Rose? So definitely the way they're going about Episode 9, the way JJ is handling Episode 9, and from the leaks that we've heard is that she's not in it much. She's in it very, very little. She's promoted, so she's like a higher ranking member, but she's kind of regulated to that whole, like, talking over the intercom role, which, is fine. Different people have their role. Carrie Fisher's daughter, who's been in the movie 7, 8, she's kind of had that role. So it's kind of funny that they're putting her in that same kind of thing. It's just that, I mean, that's a very clear, like, hey, we're just going to push you aside. You didn't get the best reception to you in Episode 8. And hey, it's not against the actress. Episode 8 had a lot more problems than the acting. In fact, the acting overall from pretty much everybody was pretty darn solid. It ranged, and I don't think she was nearly the best. I don't think she was absolutely terrible. I think her character was pretty terrible, but I don't think she did a terrible job in general. But it's very clear where they're going with Episode 9. Like Tyler said, I mean, you have all these examples with the merchandise, and like it's just pretty clear. If you have all these posters, even all these official things, and again, even the trailers, and those are edited and put out by Disney, by Star Wars, all this stuff, you don't see her in them. I mean, she's just not in them. It's very clear that they don't want her to be in it and that's not a bad, again, that's just kind of strategic thinking. It's like, hey, we want to go the way we're going for Episode 9. We have a lot, and we've talked about, the leaks, and we talked about where this movie needs to go. There's no room for Rose to ruin another great moment like Finn possibly sacrificing himself, and she ruins it. There's really no point, and Rose isn't really the character that should be with these people anyway. Like, she's going to go to the Death Star with them. She's going to be there when Rey and Kylo fight. Like, there's just no, this was bound to happen, and this was a thing that I think all of us, Tyler and I, after we saw 8 and stuff, were like, hopefully they find a way to, kick her out a little bit. And luckily, JJ's like, you know what? Yeah, I actually don't really feel the need to put her in that. And again, the merchandise, all these examples, it's kind of just echoing, I think, what we'll see from the movie. It's like they don't care about Rose. They don't need her in the merchandise. In some examples, it would probably make the merchandise worse to put Rose in it. And I think you'll see that. I mean, like Tyler said, I mean, I really think that is the telltale sign is after 9 is done, there'll be a lot of stuff talked about. The trilogy will be talked about. We'll probably talk about the Emperor. We'll probably talk about Rey and Kylo and those kind of characters, the story arc of these 3 movies, Rey's origin, stuff like that. There'll be so much to talk about, but really, like, will we talk about Rose? No, I don't think anybody, like Tyler said, I don't think anybody's going to talk about Rose. And even when you look back 3 years from now, let's say, or when the next Star Wars movies start to come out, and you look back at this trilogy, is Rose a talking point? Other than to say she was one of the main things wrong with Episode 8, she wasn't, there was a lot of things, again, wrong with Episode 8, so maybe she wouldn't even be brought up in that conversation. I just think when we're going to be looking back at this trilogy overall, Rose is not even in the top 10 things that we're going to think about saying, even though you could argue maybe we would say something about her being pointless and unneeded in episode 8. I don't even think it's just something like we just all kind of want to forget. I think that's kind of what we're seeing with JJ putting her in that role with the merchandise. They kind of want you to forget. And then, like Tyler said, we get these people, 15, 20 of them that maybe or maybe not will see the actual film. They want Rose, to be front and center. And they're going to be these people, the people that are crying now, wait until they see episode 9 and Rose is in it for 5 minutes, because they're going to be truly disappointed. But guys, let us know in the comments below, what do you think about all of this? What do you think Rose's role will be in episode 9? How much do you think she'll actually be in the movie? What do you think about her in general, this merchandise stuff? Let us know all that in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit that bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you as always for watching. Again, these air every single Thursday. We're almost there. We only have like a little bit over a month left until the movie comes out. So we thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all on the next video.